Welcome to another Demarcation Media Dusted Off video. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at how to fix one of the most annoying Mega Construct's quality control issues. And that is when you get a figure that does this. The hand just kind of bobbles around in the socket. It wants to fall out all the time. And this can range from really bad, like you can see here, like this guy's hands are basically just falling out, to something more minor like this guy, and his hand only kind of wobbles up and down a little. For this kind of thing, you can just leave it if it doesn't bother you, but it is possible to fix it if you do want to fix it. But today we're mainly going to be focusing on this guy because this is really bad, like really bad. So I'm sure you've run into this issue, and I'm sure you've also probably heard of the method of fixing it where you use hot water, you like boil water and then put the piece in and all that. I'm here to tell you that that is probably the more difficult way to do it. Really, all you need is a blow dryer. That's literally it. This is going to be a lot quicker than having to boil a bunch of water. So what we're going to do, to start, you need to remove the hand to make sure that there's no excess plastic. Sometimes you'll see an extra little nub of plastic sticking up where the machine just didn't trim it off, and that's what causes the issue in the first place. With this guy, I've already taken both of his hands out, and I have already trimmed down everything. I usually will sand it down even a little farther, just because it makes the repair process a little easier. And then you're probably going to want to dismantle the figure a bit, just get all the excess stuff off, and we are going to do one hand at a time. What we're going to do basically is we are going to use the hair dryer to heat up the end of the hand, and then I'm going to pinch around the edges of the wrist to make the hole smaller. Now, we'll go ahead and do this in a minute, but I want to say before that, sometimes this is not enough. Sometimes the hand or the forearm itself will not be deep enough for the hand, so what you're gonna have to do there is sand it down and then heat up the forearm, shove the hand in there all the way back so that it fits, and then let it sit like that for a bit, and then later you're gonna have to heat it up again and pinch the hand shut. Luckily, we don't have to deal with that this time, and that's a fairly rare version of the issue, but good grief, this guy does not want to stand up today. He was falling over even before I was recording. But, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and kick this thing on and heat our figure up. So now you can see the difference between the arm sockets there. This one's a lot smaller, that's the one we just fixed, and then this one's a lot bigger. So now what we have to do is we have to let this cool and set for about 15 to 20 minutes, maybe 30, and then we're gonna put the hand back in. Once we put the hand back in, then we need to let it settle for about an hour or more, because for some reason it takes about an hour for the hand to actually like set back in place. I would not necessarily recommend doing this on a work desk. You saw all of my stuff go flying and all kinds of dust that hasn't been touched in eons come flying up. So I would recommend doing this like in your bathroom or something on your sink. That's usually how I do it because it's also easier to see in there, but that was a little bit difficult to record it. So now we're gonna let this guy cool and we will test out the hand and see if we were successful or not. Now, sometimes there is also an issue where you will get a torso that will not allow the shoulders to pop all the way in place. Those of you who have seen my Arbiter's Quest review will know that my Heretic Elite had that problem with both arms. Both arms didn't want to stay in at all. So I decided just to test, just to see if the whole method of putting the hands back in would work for the shoulders, and it does. I actually tested it literally like 10 minutes before I recorded. And you're just going to want to heat up the whole torso, just blast the hairdryer at the side for a good 15 seconds or more, and then push the shoulder back in and hold it there. Probably let it sit for another 15 seconds while you're holding it in place, just to make sure that it cools properly, and then repeat the whole process for the other side. And it actually worked really well. I can still move the arm all around. There's really no sticking at all, and it looks like the whole issue is fixed. So that's actually great, because I didn't want to have to send in my Heretic Elite to customer service, because who knows when I would have gotten it back. So now I have a fully functioning Elite ready to go commit some heresy. Alrighty, so he's been sitting for a little while now. So we're going to go ahead and fit the hand in and see if it's any better. Now, it is possible to close the wrist hole too much. So hopefully we didn't do that. Okay, so now it's in place. So what you're going to want to do is you are going to want to now leave this for at least an hour. Let it settle into place. Let the plastic of the forearm kind of reshape itself around the hand. And then after an hour or so, you'll be able to tell if it was fixed or not. So now I'm going to have to wait again. But again, you guys, this is going to be real quick for you guys. But yeah, do not move the hand. Once you popped it in place, do not move the hand at all until at least an hour has passed. Probably let a little bit more time go just to be sure. And the wait is over. So look at his hand. It no longer is wobbling. Pretty secure in there, and it still turns. Let's see. We have... well, that's not really unusual. Mega hands tend to move a little bit in the socket. So yeah, there is now no risk of it falling out. And I purposely did not do the other side so I could show the difference. So this is what we were working with before. The hand could do this and that, and just it was all around pretty bad. You'd end up like that a lot without meaning to. So now we're fixed. And this works, like I said, also for if the arm does not fit into the torso. You can heat up the torso and squeeze the arms in there. I haven't tested it on making a lower arm fit into the elbow, but I imagine it's pretty similar. The results are probably going to be quite the same. So yeah, this will work probably about 7 out of 10 times. There are a few instances where you just won't really be able to do much, but that's fairly rare in my experience. I've only had like one figure ever that just was a pain. And with repeated attempts, you know, you do the same process over and over again, you will be able to at least make it a little bit better. So hopefully this helps you guys. I know this is a widespread issue, and it's one that Mega just doesn't seem to be able to quell very well. So keep this video on your saved, like watch later, and every time you get a figure like this, just pop it open and follow these steps, and you should be good. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.